I'm Rachita. Thanks for the introduction. Firstly, I would like to thank the organizers for an opportunity to present this exciting project in which we attempted to find out a causal mechanism for this phenotype called as X-linked dystonia Parkinsonism. So first to start with, what is X-linked dystonia Parkinsonism? So X-linked dystonia Parkinsonism is an X-linked recessive neurodegenerative disorder with a late onset the age of onset is around 39 years. And after the initial symptoms of dystonia, the Parkinson's symptoms come and then they are dominant toward the later stages of life. It's a Mendelian disorder and it's basically endemic to this Panay Island in the Philippines. A lot have been done to find out the genetic causes of this disease. The disease was first described in 1970s, and after that, for the next 20-25 years, the linkage studies actually linked the long arm of X chromosome to this disease. In the later years, that is basically in 2003, Nolt and his group actually find 5 DSCs, which are like 5 single nucleotide polymorphisms, which were called as DSCs linked to this disease, along with the 48 base pair deletion. Following it in 2007, Makino found an insertion of a SVA retrotransposon in the 32nd intron of TAF1 gene. TAF1 is the biggest component of TAF2D transcription initiation complex, so it's a very important gene. So all these variations which are found to be associated with this disease were all in high linkage disequilibrium, and we did not see any individual which has the disease did not having any of the variations. And thus we figured out that the region was not recombining a lot. So the hypothesis was that there is a big structural variation in the region which is restricting the region from recombinations. So we first started with 2 families and did some sequencing on long range assemblies, jumping libraries, and PacBio because it's a repetitive region. And to our surprise, we did not find any structural variation. So then, since it's a founder haplotype population, we went from doing long end range or structural variation finding to increase our number of individuals which we want to sequence, and we did a deep capture sequencing of 121 individuals, what we sequenced was this 400 kb region which was historically associated with the disease. The deep sequencing actually resulted in additional 38 variations which were associated with the disease, along with the 7 already known ones. To our surprise, we also found 3 recombinations in the region, and these 3 recombinations actually shrink the region or the essential XDP haplotype to 219 kb, which includes 13 variations, and actually it removes 2 of the essential variations historically known. And the only gene which was left associated was TAF1. So we actually still are figuring out what the gene, this actually made us point that the gene associated with the disease is TAF1. But none of the variations which we found are functional, so we still didn't have a mechanism for the gene. Thus, to understand the mechanism of how these variations are affecting, we did some transcriptome analysis on the fibroblasts collected from 10 families, which included probands, carrier females, and some unaffected individuals. The fibroblasts were reprogrammed into iPS and thus into neural cell lines, and transcriptome analysis were performed on all these cell lines. Since we were interested a lot on the TAF1 gene, we did a de novo assembly of the TAF1 region, and we were able to assemble all the known transcripts as well as 5 novel transcripts from the transcriptome. The most interesting transcripts is this one, which is the CTAF or the canonical transcript, which is expressed on all the tissues, and it showed lower expression in the XTP patients as compared to the controls. The other interesting transcript is the NTAF, or the neuron-specific transcript, which also showed lower expression in the NSCs and the neuron, but was not that significant. Amongst the novel transcript, the most interesting transcript was this small transcript of 2 exons, which showed that there is a novel exon in 32 in the 32nd intron of TAF1 gene, just proximal to the SVA. We looked into this region in more details, and what we found was there are cryptic or novel splice sites, and this region was only differentially expressed in the NSCs, and this intron retention was genome-wide significant when compared when we created this IR score. To understand more about how what role, or is there a role of SVA in this intron retention, we used CRISPR-Cas9 methodology to remove the SVA out of the intron. After removing the SVA, interestingly, what we found was that the intron retention went off. We didn't have any more intron retention. That means it was close to the controls, as well as the TAF1 expression, which was lower in the cases versus controls, also went equal to the amount which is present in the control cells. Thus, for the summary, I would say what we did for the last couple of years for this project was actually reducing the region from 400 kb to 200 kb, which include only the TAF1 gene. Finding out the TAF1 gene is lower expressed, and this lower expression is caused by this partial intron retention, which is basically related to the SVA insertion in the TAF1 gene. The CRISPR-Cas9 mediated excision of the SVA was able to correct the alternate splicing as well as the lower expression of TAF1 gene. So this work is basically done by a big team of people, which starts with the Koski lab, where Mike is our supervisor, and Dadi and Tatsiana did all the genomic analysis along with them. The IPS work was done in collaboration with another lab in MGH headed by Chris Bragg, who did all the IPS work. We are very thankful to MGH as well as the collaborators in Philippines for collecting such a big sample for us, and also the families who gave the samples, the funding from NIH, and also the Collaborative Center of XDP, and thanks all for your attention. I can take the questions.
Thank you. We have time for questions.